What's up, investors? Welcome to another episode of the W.T.F report, bringing you the latest and greatest news that directly impact our financial markets and, more importantly, our portfolios. So this week we had an executive order signed that is banning certain applications on the App Store from the United States, and along with that, we still ain't got a stimulus package. So without further ado, my name is Ayan with AQ Markets. This is this week's W.T.F report. So this week, overall in the market, we had a pretty green week. Leading into this, we had the Dow Jones up a little bit over 3%, we had the S&P 500 around 2%, and we had the NASDAQ lag a little bit, but still up at 1.4%. And a lot of this has to do with the fact that the market is pricing in the fact that there's going to be a second stimulus being passed soon. However, we were ending the week pretty high, but then this Friday we had a little bit of a downturn towards the end because the stimulus has not been confirmed yet. As you can see from the headline, they're still very, very far apart from coming to an agreement on the stimulus. They were hoping to get everything signed and done this week on this Friday. However, they did not. They're apparently miles apart on certain aspects when it comes to unemployment benefits and when it comes to helping out certain states and municipalities. Those are the biggest topics of debate right now. So, hopefully they can get something going by next week. The expectation, again, is still going to be in the first half of August, but anything is really up in the air right now. So last week when I mentioned that TikTok was potentially going to be banned in the United States, that was just talk, but now it is action. President Trump actually signed an executive order that would be banning TikTok in 45 days if it isn't sold to a United States company. And on top of that as well, there's another Chinese-based app owned by Tencent called WeChat, which is a mobile messaging system, payment system, and social media platform where you can post, photos and memories. He's also adding that to the ban list. However, right now, we cannot use WeChat for financial transactions because some of the proportions would be going to Tencent and they want to completely avoid that. So, as I mentioned earlier last week as well, Microsoft is still in the running to purchase TikTok. And as it stands right now, they're kind of working out the numbers. They need to hit that September 15th deadline for anything to happen. ByteDance, which is the parent company of TikTok, is obviously showing a lot of fight back with this. They're kind of in a position to just ask ridiculous numbers, and if the market wants it, the market will have to pay for it. So with Microsoft, it's looking like it's going to be around $10 billion, but who knows? They have over 450 million users worldwide. That number is growing. It could be an immense ad platform, which it already has become, so it could actually be worth the price tag. However, President Trump is actually requesting that a certain proportion of this deal goes towards the Treasury because they're brokering the deal, which kind of makes sense. It's similar to how an investment bank works. So we'll see what ends up happening. Microsoft is still posed to be the purchaser of this company. They don't face any antitrust lawsuits yet or probes, so it looks like they might end up taking it by September 15th. But someone random can swoop in, who knows? Now, as I mentioned with Facebook trying to slip in there and create their own TikTok, generic brand, they recently introduced on Instagram called Instagram Reels, which they kind of just slid in there under the radar since they're right now under that investigation for antitrust probe. And basically they kind of put it in the next update. They marketed it a little bit. They're telling some certain influencers and some high profile celebrities to start using it to take away market share from TikTok. So up on that news, they were up over 6% this week. People are pricing in the fact that this can be a new ad platform for them, since a lot of people might be transitioning from TikTok onto Instagram Reels just for the comfortability knowing that this company might not completely get banned within the next 45 days. This week we also had the July job reports come out. It came out a little bit better than expected. They were expecting 1.4 million jobs added. It turns out it was 1.8 million, so that's a big plus. But there's something to keep in mind. We are still at around 13 million people unemployed with no work at all, which comes out to be 10.2% unemployment rate. A good proxy for that is the great financial recession of 2008-2009. The unemployment number was 10%, so we're still hovering from there. We've dropped down substantially from the initial 30%, then 20%, so now we're doing a little bit better. But one thing to keep note here is that in that jobs report, it showed that 24 million people were working part-time jobs. That's not necessarily good because they aren't really getting as much money as they should at the end of the month. They might not be making ends meet. And along with that, a lot of these people must be mismatched when it comes to skill sets. People might be really highly skilled, but in their field, the job market might not be so hot, so they're working at, like a Starbucks or something like that. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And another thing as well is for those 13 million people that are still unemployed, the federal unemployment benefits actually recently ended this Friday, which is why this next stimulus package is very important to those people because as it stands right now, they are not going to be getting another paycheck, well, another benefits check next week, which is pretty sad. So this week we had a few earnings reports come out, but I'm going to be covering two of which were on my personal radar, and one of which is Disney. So Disney had a really good quarter, all things considered. Their sales were down around 42%, which makes complete sense because their amusement parks and attractions, they tried to open it, but it didn't really work out, so they're still closed. But their streaming services absolutely killed it. They have now 100 million subscribers between Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and Hulu, 60 million of which is on Disney Plus alone. So that's some pretty incredible growth considering Disney Plus was launched just less than a year ago. Now, just as a comparison, if we look at Netflix, Netflix has 193 million subscribers. So they're about more than halfway there. And they also announced that Mulan, the live action movie that they were planning to release in theaters and everything, they're actually going to put it on Disney Plus for viewers to see for the price of $30. Kind of expensive, so maybe I'm going to wait on that one. The second earnings report I really wanted to talk about was Uber. So Uber is still a very interesting company. They're yet to turn a profit, which, they keep making new acquisitions and their operating costs are high, but it's okay. Let's talk about the key points that they released in this earnings report. One, their food delivery services more than doubled. So they increased it 135%, again, because of COVID. Everyone's ordering out, but they don't want to go and pick up the food. And then two, their ride hailing is actually slowly but surely climbing back up, mainly in parts of Europe. And third, they've launched this new thing called Uber Connect, where it's a parcel delivery service locally within your city or area, which is pretty interesting. So if you want to, bake a cake and give it to your friend, you can bake the cake, call Uber Connect, and they'll deliver it for you for a fee, which is a very interesting concept. I feel like that would be very useful, especially during these times as well, since people kind of want to minimize contact with one another. So, let's see what the future holds with this company. As I mentioned before, they keep diversifying away from what they originally were created for, which was the ride hailing, but diversification is great. If they could create different levels of revenue and then overall turn a profit one day, this could be a very positive sign for the company. That does it for this week's WTF report. As always, if there's anything I missed, drop a comment below. Let's talk about it. And most important of all, don't forget to like the video, share it, and then subscribe if you haven't already, and then tell all your friends and family to subscribe as well. See you guys next week. Thank you.